Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, where I preview and predict the men's college basketball conference tournaments. I have done 10 of them: the NEC, the Atlantic Sun, the Horizon, the Patriot, the Big South, the OVC, Missouri Valley, Sunbelt, West Coast, and SoCon. Now we're at number 11, and it's the CAA tournament, which begins on Saturday, and it's going to be held at the St. Elizabeth's East Entertainment and Sports Arena in D.C. Your seedings for this tournament: your 1 seed is Towson, 24-7 on the year, 15-3 in conference play. Your 2 seed is UNC Wilmington, 21-8 on the year, 15-3 in conference play. Your 3 seed is Hofstra, 21-10 on the year, 13-5 in conference play. Your 4 seed is Drexel, 19-12 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. 5 seed Delaware, 19-12 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. Your 6 seed is Charleston, 16-14 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Your 7 seed is Alon, 10-21 on the year, 7-11 in conference play. Your 8 is William & Mary, 5-26 on the year, 4-14 in conference play. And your 9 is Northeastern, a disappointing 8-21 on the year, 2-16 in conference play. James Madison went 15-14 on the year, 6-12 in conference play, but is ineligible for this tournament due to changing conferences this year, as they will make its move to the Sun Belt, which is very fascinating when it comes to this sport and college football next fall. All right, so without further ado, here we go. It all begins Saturday, first round. 9 seed Northeastern, 8 seed William & Mary. Northeastern, very disappointing year, as I mentioned. A good coach in Bill Cohn. 2 guys averaging in double-digit points per game in Ben Wright and Connor Kalkara. And William & Mary. Oh, wait, those are William & Mary's guys that I just talked about. Wright and Kalkara are William & Mary's players. Northeastern, very balanced in terms of scoring, led by Jameel Telfort, averaging just under 13 a game, and Tyree Scott Grayson averaging 12.3 points per game. My projection here is Northeastern actually has an 8-point favorite, total of 137 and 500ths. Therefore, I have Northeastern in its step going to the quarterfinals, which begins Sunday. You have Northeastern against 1-seeded Towson. Towson's been fantastic this season. Very balanced scoring attack. 4 guys averaging a double-digit per game, led by Nicholas Timberlake with 14.3 points per game, and Cameron Holden at 13.6 points per game. My projection here is Towson by 7 1/8. Therefore, I have Towson moving on. Second of 4 quarterfinals games, 5-seeded Delaware and 4-seeded Drexel. Delaware a little disappointing relative to expectations. 4 guys averaging in double-digit figures per game, led by Jameer Nelson Jr. with 14. And then Drexel has been solid this season too. 3 guys averaging double figures game, led by Cameron Winter at 15.3 points per game. Projection here is Delaware by 3 1/8, total of 144 and 7/10. Therefore, I have Delaware moving on. Third of 4 quarterfinal games, 7-seed Alon, 2-seed UNC Wilmington. Alon, usually a bottom feeder in this conference. 2 guys averaging double figures per game. Darius Beerford and Hunter McIntosh, 13.7 and 13.3 respectively. And Wilmington's been awesome this year, overachieved this year, led by Jalen Sims at 15.7 points per game. He averages over 5.5 rebounds per game. As well, my projection is Wilmington by 7 1/8, total of 137 8/10. Therefore, I have Wilmington advancing in the last of the quarterfinal games. 6 seed Charleston, 3 seed Hofstra. Charleston, very balanced team. 4 guys averaging double-digit points per game, led by John Meeks at 13.7 points per game. And 3 seed Hofstra, one of the really good scorers, Aaron Estrada, 18.5 per game for Hofstra. My projection here is Hofstra by 4 5/8, total of 152 3/10. Therefore, I have Hofstra advancing to the semifinals. First of 2 semifinal games. Monday, March 7th. On CBS Sports Network. 5 seed Delaware, 1 seed Towson. My projection is UDEL by 5/8. Don't have a total yet because you know how this works. Total projections are much harder to project because you don't know where it could go for a total, but you either win or you lose, so you adjust accordingly to a future line. Like I said, really good teams. Towson, I feel like, have overachieved the season, and there's a little bit of a rivalry with UDEL, which is 1 state over in Delaware. And my projection here is Delaware by 5/8. Delaware's deeper than Towson. So I have Delaware advancing to the championship. And the second of 2 semifinals, 3 seed Hofstra, 2 seed UNC Wilmington. 2 really good teams. But I think the best player on the court in this game is going to be Estrada, who averages 18.5 and 5 per game, the 5 being assists. My projection is Hofstra by 1 3/4. Therefore, I have Hofstra in the championship game. So for the second time in doing this series, I have neither a 1 or a 2 seed in a championship round. Tuesday, March 8th on CBS Sports Network. 5 seed Delaware, 3 seed Hofstra. Does the depth play out with Delaware or the talented scorer in Estrada break through? I'm going to go with the deeper team. That's Delaware. I project them as a 1-point favorite, so therefore I have Delaware punching a ticket to the big dance and winning the 2022 Colonial Athletic Association tournament. All right. Now I'm going to do odds and pick a long shot. Towson's the favorite, plus 140. Hofstra's plus 350. That's pretty good value. Charleston's 750. Delaware's 10-1. Drexel's 10-1. Wilmington's 11-1. Alon's 12-1. Northeastern's 27-1. And William & Mary's 250-1. It's amazing that they have no faith in William & Mary. Like, you could argue that Northeastern is overvalued from a odd standpoint. But from a value perspective, Delaware doubling down my pick, 10-1. The depth could do it. I could see Hofstra doing it with Estrada. I like that call too, but I really like Delaware at 10-1 as my value play, and they're actually my pick to win the tournament. So I'm gonna go put some money down at 10-1 with Delaware there. So I have Delaware making it. Drexel won it last year, so they have an experience. Hofstra would have been in it if not been for the pandemic. Northeastern was in it 3 years ago. Charleston won it 4 years ago, and then 5 years ago was Wilmington. So Wilmington hasn't been in it in a couple years, and that school had a little bit of a run as well. So next up will be the Summit League.